And once again, we find ourselves in Funspot here in Laconia for the Republican event where people are floating in and out all day with free offerings of free food and opportunity to see Greg Moore, the executive director of the state of New Hampshire's version of the reflection. This is cool. I get to sit down and talk with you because I wasn't there last time. Talk to you now. Greg, thank you for spending a few minutes with Granite Rock.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Skip. As we know from the State House, they will come.
That's true.
Local levels, and this is a group of people who I feel as though that's a message that resonates strongly with.
Indeed, and I think that's part of the reason why this group formed, because they wanted a stronger emphasis on certain topics within the Republican Party. They feel a much more of a sense of a closeness to the party platform and to conservative ideals. I look at it as, and I am part of it, I have to admit, even as I am still a state committee member of the NHGOP, it's more of a case of saying, okay, folks, you've seen a lot of what's going on. Here's a part of the party that basically lives what it believes, and not just being a Republican because you want an R next to your name. So, certainly appreciate what you do here in the state. I know you're supposed to be nonpartisan.
We are nonpartisan. I'm not supposed to be nonpartisan. We are nonpartisan. In fact, I remind people regularly that we have literally thousands of extra Democrats, members of Americans for Prosperity, and a lot of those Democrats share a lot of us being Republicans and independents. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be 100% opposed. Get that message out.
Another group here in New Hampshire, State Progress, from the opposite end. So I'm glad to see that you're maintaining that fight and
I'm sure they might actually take a Republican like an affirmative action thing, but really haven't seen any outreach among that group with the Republican Party. Although but we do actually reach out to Democrats. I go and speak at Rotaries and other functions. I actually go where people invite me. I mean, I haven't been invited to any Democratic Party events, but I tell Democrats, I know, listen, invite me. I'm happy to come. It's an important message, and it's one that needs to get out with it, regardless of what party you're in. And so, my goal is to make sure people get the opportunity to hear that message. And it doesn't matter what party they are. It doesn't matter where they are. And I'll travel all across the state, and I do, to make sure that message gets out.
What are the biggest issues? What's the big top 3, top 5 for AFP right now here in New Hampshire?
As far as state issues going
Yes.
on, well, certainly right now our top issue is a budget that's growing at 16%. I mean, there's no question that we cannot afford a 16% budget here in New Hampshire. I mean, that's the meta issue I think is overriding everything right now as far as what's going on in Concord. As you know, last year we passed a budget here in New Hampshire that actually reduced spending by 11%, state spending. And you know what? People managed to get by with 11% less state government in their lives and did just fine. And I think that's something that probably scares a lot of the big government types. They realized, oh my goodness, the world didn't come to an end. People dying on the streets. We managed to live with an 11% reduction in state budget. Now we're going in exactly the opposite direction, growing by 16%. But it's how you get there. I mean, look, if money fell out of the sky and you grew by 16% because there were dollars everywhere, that might not be as big a problem as what the way they're getting there. They're getting there by raising a whole host of taxes and fees, and they're doing it in a way that really undermines the culture we're working to develop here in New Hampshire, having low taxes and limited government. We're talking about 4 business taxes that are going to be increased is in terms of the BET, the BPT, the BPT component relative to the educational choice tax credit, as well as looking at a whole host of other tax increases, such as a 30-cent per pack increase in tobacco tax, a 67% increase in the gas and diesel tax, 25% increase in the home heating oil tax, a 30% increase in the Reggie tax. I mean, it just goes on and on. And that's not even getting to the fees, such as increases in fishing licenses and marriage licenses, increases in fee-making authority for the fire control board. I bet you didn't even know we had a fire control board.
No, I'm sitting here going, I've never heard of this thing.
but the fire control board now has new fee-making authority.
Crop TV.